Break through it. Well, boys and girls, I promised you we'd get out to the shop this week, and here we are. We're going to try to put some dressing on the side of this car. Like I said in a previous video, I like to use tape to mark my cut lines. So we're going to cut this out, and I'm shortening my panels up so we can try to get the most out of my metal I can and be able to use this old 5-foot metal brake as much as I can. If I do my rear quarter and my door panel at 5 foot, that should put my front fenders at roughly 4 foot, so we should be able to make it all work with using the metal brake. So here we go. So now what I'm going to do is mark out about a little over an inch on the top, and I'm going to bend it over on both pieces, and that way we can kind of get a rough idea on how tall I want to make the sides. So we're going to make our marks and get ready to go. Well, you're going to see an old familiar tune here. We still got to finish bending the seam over. For that, we'll use a trusty old hammer to get that all done. We'll probably bend some of it over with a pair of pliers. So what's the point of making a seam on the metal? Well, like we did right there, we get the same effect. It makes the metal a lot stronger for any abuse that we might get, vibrations and all that. And that on the side panels, we're going to use body bolts versus rivets. So it gives a little more meat to grab onto. We're going to do the same on the bottom. We'll put some plastic skirts on the bottom, but we'll double up or seam it over to give it a little more strength down there too, to give a little more meat to grab onto the angle iron, or the aluminum angle I should say, to bolt it on. So we're going to cut it down, get it to size, and then seam it and put it back together. Like I said before in the video, and you can kind of see me in a clip, we're going to bend it with the metal brake, go through and beat it flat with a hammer, and that's how a poor man makes seams. Use what we got, nothing fancy, but got hammers, we got basic tools, so it's a lot better than doing it all by hand. And I got my little helper CJ today. He's being bashful, but we're going to get this done. If you can, when you're cutting your metal, to help save you a little bit of money, take your excess pieces and put them over to the side. Yeah, help you save a couple dollars, but you can always use them later on somewhere else. So we're going to bend these sheets of metal real quick and maybe try to get them bolted up. Well, we got our 2 panels for the right side bent. You can see we got them there. What I'm going to doing here is taking some vice grips and holding it into place so I can drill the holes and get a couple of body bolts started in on it. Now, wonder why I'm using body bolts instead of pop rivets? Here you go. Put it in the hole, Make sure you're going the right way on the impact. It's in there. One down, a whole bunch more to go. So give us a minute, we'll have her ready. And just like that, we got one panel mounted. Well, we got the rear quarter and the door panel bolted up. They'll come off here shortly. I got to, as you can see, we don't have anything cut out for fender well for the tire, so we still got to do that and all that fun stuff. So right now we got the sides mocked up on this side. I guess we can get started on the other side. My helper, he ran across the street to go play with the neighbor kids, so back on it on my own. You might wonder how I hold said piece of metal while I'm getting it crimped down in my metal brake. Not just for setting your butt in, but you can set your metal on it. Like a glove. I don't know about you guys, but my arms are getting tired from beating that metal down. But now, you guys just seen a few minutes ago, I had me a fancy tool to hold my 5-foot piece of metal up. Or should I say 4-foot? Well, we run into an issue when we cut the metal down. My fancy tool don't reach. What are we gonna do? Well, it's simple. We'll turn it around, lift this up, and voila! We got us a fancy tool. Now, if you've never dealt with body bolts before, well, you wonder how they actually bolt into the car. They're not self-tapping screws by any means. These little bitty clips, they pretty much, I think it's a 1/4 inch or something like that. You can get them in different sizes, but the easiest way to do it, they got these quick start bolts here. You see there, smooth, kind of round on the end there and threaded, but pretty much you can once you get a bolt started, and really you don't even have to get them started. You can put them in the end of your impact or whatever you're using and zip them right in. So that's a big reason why I like using them. Now, I'll probably pop rivet the sheet metal down at the bottom onto the angle, unless I can get around to getting some more screws. But that's where we're at right now. We're going to go ahead and get this side bolted up. We're going to probably call it a day when I get that done. Okay, so we've got the driver's side bolted on, like I said. The rear quarter panel. We still got to cut the holes out for the wheel well. That's what you want to call it. Got the nose sitting right there. Dominator race products. But we made the deck panels, side panels, and all that using pretty much those tools right there. Nothing expensive. No, I say not expensive, depending on what your budget is. But it's all off-brand stuff. The pop rivet gun I got from Harbor Freight, I think for $40 after a discount. Bought the 1/4 inch impact and the drill. That came from Menards with rebates. I think that was a $100 kit with the batteries. Pretty much hand tools and very little high dollar stuff. Well, I've got the hole saw kit that came from Menards too, but That just goes to show it takes a little more time, but you don't have to have $1,000 worth of equipment to do a body. Now you get into the more fancy stuff like the roof there. It helps to have better equipment to do nicer stuff like that. But as of right now, we're pretty well right on budget. We shouldn't have to go buy a bunch of stuff, but we'll see what we come up with. Okay, today we're going to solve a problem. The flat sides, we're going to cut a hole in them for the wheels. By doing that, we're going to take this Sharpie, go in there, and draw around the tires. So we're going to get this done and try to see if we can't make it start looking more like a car. So what I did was trace the tire on the car and got a rough outline there. I don't know if you can see it. And then we went there and took my magical blue tape and kind of outlined it a couple inches around the outside edge of the tire to try to get a little clearance. We might have to trim some back once we get the car on the ground, but we're going to cut it out and see how it looks. Well, one cut. Let's see if we can't get a better shot here. Pretty good fit around the tire. Should have plenty of clearance. And something that we can use on the other side, a template. So we're going to move on and get the other side cut out real quick, and then we're going to try to add a little shape to this thing. We'll see what we can get done. Gotta go get dinner here shortly. But the way that thing fits, you'd think I knew what I was doing. Well, guess you get lucky every once in a while, but those are going into the save pile. Smart thing for me to do, maybe for anybody else out there, is keep those for templates for later on down the road. But yeah, definitely some place to start with. So I'm sure eventually I'll be doing more body panels on whether it's this car or another one. But we're going to pull the panels off now and mark them down and add just a slight bend out at the top, and then be just enough that when you bolt it on there, it should stick out maybe 10-20 degrees. Then when I put the bracing on the bottom, I won't bring it out as far as it was previously. Previously, this car had 10-inch wide tires, but and the body panel stuck out to the point I couldn't even put it on my trailer. So what I'm going to do is when I do the bracing, I'm going to bring it in to where it's about even with the tires. And with the bend on the top coming out, it should give the body a little bit of an outward curve without giving it a crease down the center of the door panel. I think that's kind of a tacky look when they got a bend down the middle. But we're going to get these panels off and do some measuring real quick and get them bent up and see what we end up with. Now I'm just going to kind of show you a comparison. This is the right side. I haven't made the crease on the top yet. We're going to go over here to the right, or left side I should say, and you'll see, like I said, it's just a slight bend out, but whenever I bring it in, it gives it a nice curve to the body versus being completely flat. And on the rear, I can adjust the bracing there, which these here are going bye-bye. That's just a simple tip that I've learned with dealing with these aluminum side cars, is a little bend in one spot can give you a decent bend in another. Like I said, I don't like the crease that some of these guys put down the middle. To me, it just looks kind of tacky. So we have both panels been out. What we're going to do, you can see my vice grips down there on the bottom. We're going to go through where this seam is, right here. We're going to put 4 or 5 pop rivets in it with my little washers that I got. Just going to do that. Yeah, I know it's a little, like I said before, it's an inconvenience to have the pop rivets, but a handful versus a whole bunch of them, twice the amount, I'll take that any day. A lot less work. Chances are if I mess something up, I might take the whole side panel off anyway. And getting the bracing off is a whole lot easier than trying to drill out pop rivets the whole length of the body. So we're going to do that real quick on both sides, and we'll get back with you. Well, we got it pop riveted. Put 3 on so far. This one down here, it will get pop riveted whenever we do the body bracing on the bottom. No need to get pop rivet it on yet until I have a piece of angle up there and have it ready to go. But we're going to close it out here. Like I've said before, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. We got to get up and go trucking in the morning, and we could spend more time out here and get a lot more done on this car. But got a new baby in the house, need to spend some time with it and with Mama and CJ. So we're going to jump off here and see if we can hunt some food down and spend a little time with the family before I have to leave out for the week. And we'll catch you guys on the road this week.